Make up rumors that I have CP and I'm a prostitute because I won't date you. Goodbye to your new $150,000 car, and hello prison and a ruined life. TLDR at bottom, if this isn't enough for this sub, let me know and I'll move it. But I've been a long-time lurker. Characters. Me, male 18, unmedicated senior. Psycho incel, referred to as PIM-16. So, for backstory, I was the only gay kid in what felt like my entire small, deep south-southern town, and came out very young, so that identity kinda stuck. My family was mostly very supportive, and I'm grateful for that because outside of 2 to 3 friends, I might as well have had a scarlet A branded to my forehead. Eventually, though, a few other people came out, one being P.I., a very wealthy, spoiled, all-American entitled kid who drove a very, very expensive new car. Now, when he first came out, it was to no one's surprise, but regardless, a mutual friend was worried it would be a hard time, and asked if I would befriend him, give him tips on how to get through it, etc. I, of course, said yes. Big mistake. Now, by this time, I never cared what anyone thought because the people who mattered had already made it apparent and vice versa. So, I was pretty open about the fact that I was actively dating someone much, much older than me. I don't want to hear it, that's not the point of the story, and it was a wonderful and healthy relationship that my conservative, traditional dad even supported, so shut up. Now, after getting coffee with P.I. and being friendly, he apparently developed feelings for me, and after he confessed, I gently told him I was seeing someone and that I was very happy. This was common knowledge in our gossip-ridden high school anyhow, and that was apparently not acceptable to P.I., and he went ballistic. In small towns, there are often what's known as junior-senior wars, where the 2 grades have a war of harmless, albeit annoying, pranks. However, our school was not completely uncivilized, so there was a group chat for both grades to discuss rules, limits, such as no damaging, no hitting houses if someone expressed that they weren't participating, renting, etc. Well, in that group chat with over 1,000 kids, P.I. thought it would be a great time to drop bombshell number 1. I had expressed that I was not participating, to not hit my house, it's rented, and so on and so forth. QPI responding directly and saying, "What, you can't afford to buy it with all the money you've been making being a prostitute for your 50-year-old boyfriend." I would like to say, first off, my boyfriend was nowhere near that age. I saw red. I love that man to death and felt a forehead vein practically hemorrhage. Safe to say, the rumor passed throughout the high school and the community. My coaches took me aside, our extra-religious teachers tormented me more, and I was a pariah. Oh well, I had acceptance to a top university, my friends, boyfriend, and family. I was almost done. Then the next rumor dropped, and this is when I went nuclear. One day, I got a call from my friend, and immediately I knew something was wrong. Apparently, little P.I. had decided it was a good idea to lie and tell people I had 1. Cheated on my boyfriend, 2. Made a video with him, and 3. It was with a junior, someone under 18. None of which was remotely true. Thankfully, he was very popular and very straight, and also was an obsession of P.I.'s and knew where it came from, and he agreed to, in writing express, none of this was true, and gave me copious amounts of evidence. Screenshots of texts, Instagram DMs, etc., of P.I.'s online harassment. I kept all of this in a file just in case this ever got out, and I needed to defend myself. And, thankfully, it never became more than a funny, impossible, salacious story made up about me. However, it was too late for him, as I was already very mentally unstable, and this would have ruined everything I was riding on. Now, on to the revenge. Finally. So, not only was P.I.'s car brand new, but it was a new car because he had destroyed his old one and was not getting another. Love, small-town gossip, but also driving through someone's house is pretty conspicuous, LOL. Now, I'll admit I did not come up with this. I read it in a fan fiction, but it actually worked out very well. First thing I did was go to the furthest bait and tackle shop I could find and bought catfish bait. Now, if you don't fish, you might not know, but catfish love the stinkiest, smelliest bait you can find, and I bought a whole jar of the slop. I knew the parking lot of my school had no security or cameras because my car had already been vandalized. I did embrace the F word carved into my door with pride eventually. And then I got to work in the cold February morning. First thing I did was hammer nails into 3 of his tires. Now, this wouldn't pop them immediately, but they would eventually each deflate at much more inconvenient places and nails would look more accidental than if they were slashed. Then, I took poison ivy and rubbed it all over the door handles of his car. Afterwards, I took a mix of gravel and Vaseline and spread it all over the windshield wipers, which would just scratch the hell out of it once he used them. My favorite, however, was using the catfish bait. Knowing enough about cars, copious Googling, I figured out how to get to the AC portion and poured in the catfish bait. Sadly, I wouldn't be able to witness this, but he wouldn't be using his AC for another month or so since it's still cold. All that time for it to rot, fester, congeal, and the first day it's warm, and he decides to blast AC. His car will be filled with the fumes of 1,000 rotten piles of roadkill and low tide without any idea where it's coming from or how to get rid of it. The next part of this story is honestly out of pure dumb luck, and I can't claim complete responsibility for the universe's work. However, I, being the obsessive paranoid type, would check his socials from a burner account now and again, perhaps hoping to hear about his fishy car or to see if he aired out more rumors about me. One day I found something odd. Nothing. Every single social media was gone. Out of pure curiosity, I Googled his name and found something very juicy and very crazy. He was arrested in an entirely different state for attempting to impersonate a government official and bring a gun into a theme park. Safe to say that didn't fly, but it also did not get enough traction as I would like. And thus, I sent it to everyone I knew in our small town, his summer job, future college, our high school, that giant group chat of over 1,000 people. Yeah, got sent there as well. By the end of the day, he was a pariah, jobless and collegeless. I left my town, and honestly haven't heard anything about him since, but I can't imagine he amounted to much being that insane, and with that type of crime as well. TLDR guy is mad I won't date him. Tells my town I'm a prostitute because of the age difference, then further tries to tell people I'm a pussy. So I destroy his car and ruin his reputation. I hunted down my credit card thieves. Yesterday morning, I received an email notification from my credit card company stating a transaction for $1,500 at a med spa was declined, and another stating it was approved. I immediately called said credit card company to report the fraudulent charge. Turns out, my card has had fraudulent charges over the past 3 weeks with purchases including various hotels in my area, eBay, gas station, self-storage, and moving truck rental. I rarely use this card. The last time I used it in person was in February, and last online purchase in 2023. Fortunately, my credit card company flagged all recent charges and closed my card. This morning, my significant other had a doctor's appointment in the same city as a hotel purchase made yesterday. After the doctor, boyfriend asked me what I thought we should do today. I said, "Well, you wanted to shop for some new shoes. Or we can swing by this hotel up the street and see if the credit card thieves are still there." The amount seemed like it would cover 2 or 3 days. So, boyfriend and I go to the hotel to see if the people were still checked in, and to let them know the card was stolen and the charges would be reversed. Front desk lady was pissed. She was able to find the reservation by card number and noted that the person had kept changing cards to pay for the room. Of course, they didn't tell me the room number, much to my boyfriend's dismay. Boyfriend was hoping to get a room key to take their stuff. LOL, right? I called credit card company and they asked me to call the police. I called the sheriff department and they arrived within 20 minutes. I was surprised they even came. I gave them my report, ID, and credit card. The deputy asked if I wanted to prosecute. I said yes. But can I prosecute if my credit card company is going to refund all the money anyway? Then they went inside and spoke to the front desk who provided them the invoice. Boyfriend and I waited outside in front of the lobby. Then, through the automatic sliding doors, I hear the front desk lady yell, "That's him, he's trying to leave." Light Hispanic dude with a bull terrier and several bags gets placed in cuffs. He gets brought outside, searched, and Doggo gets cuffed to a trash can. Then another little Asian guy gets brought out in cuffs. A third deputy arrives and brings out a fancy Asian lady with a face full of fillers, 2 suitcases, and a Coach backpack. 4 officers start going through the backpacks on the hood of their car. We see passports, IDs, credit cards. They pull out a big credit card and printing machine and a laptop. Then they pull out a big Ziploc filled with crystal meth, and the cop exclaims, "Here we go," and turns towards us to flash a smile. 2 of them go back to search the hotel room and bring down 2 bags with more drugs, a scale, 4 car keys, and a big wad of cash. Unfortunately, none of the cars were in the parking lot, and the perps said they had been traveling by Uber. The cops contacted one of the thief's friends to pick up the dog, who arrived pretty quickly. It was an older Asian dude with tattoos, flashy jewelry, and an old luxury SUV. Don't worry, we got his pics and license plates. All these guys seemed like characters out of The Brother's Son. The deputies then gave me all the paperwork and told me that one of the guys said they stole my card off of the internet. I would have guessed that they used a scanner while I was at the fair a few weeks ago. I find that so weird, because I haven't used my card online in almost a year. Apparently, they made a physical card that had a different name on it. Anywho, I walk inside to give the front desk a copy of the incident number, and then I remembered something else. I remember seeing another transaction for a storage unit that was made yesterday, and 2 charges at a rental truck company. I go back outside and talk to the sheriff and asked him if he wanted me to try to figure out where that was. I was able to track down the storage location to a city about 15 minutes away, but no can do on the trucks. I called the storage place and they confirmed that a payment was made with my card, but would not give me the unit number. From there, the sheriff said that it was out of their jurisdiction and they would try to get a search warrant, but that might take a while. However, it might be helpful if I made a police report with the other city. So, with nothing better to do, I drove my ass over there and made another police report regarding the storage unit. That's it for now. We'll update if anything else happens.